course, I am holding a photocopy. I simply wanted to verify. I don't have to go there and show this to you. Can you just explain to us, for those who are not very well versed with technology, also for the clarity of mind of Senator Joker Arroyo, so that he will understand what a search engine means? While I understand it and I know it, I cannot expect everyone not to demean them, but to understand when you press Renato C. Corona, what happens?
The name where any document, Your Honor, in our database that has a name Renato C. Corona, Renato D. Corona, Renato Corona III will be tagged, Your Honor, and it will be printed, Your Honor.
Even if you print Renato C. Corona, everything with Renato B, A, B, D, E, F, G will come out, or only Renato C. Corona?
If there is a qualifier, Your Honor, then that will print first, Your Honor.
Did you print Renato C. Corona or only Renato Corona?
I was not the one who actually had this printed, Your Honor.
I'm getting there.
It is the registers of deeds who appeared before me who submitted these documents to my office, Your Honor.
Yes. The request was made to you, and you're saying that your staff, of course you're the administrator, did this.
Yes.
But based on the document which you signed, you must know what you're signing.
Yes,
I do
Your
not
Honor.
sign anything in my office which I do
Yes,
not
Your Honor.
understand. So you signed this document. Was this document a product of research based on a search engine, or you Googled the name of Renato Coronado Corona, Renato C. Corona, or merely Renato Corona?
Renato Corona, Your Honor. But these are machine generated. It's not a product of research, Your Honor. This
I
is
know.
a product of
Yes, I said
Yes,
search engine, so
yes,
that's
Your Honor.
machine.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
So you don't have to be sorry. This was based on putting the name Renato C. Corona, or simply Renato Corona.
Renato Corona, Your Honor.
Because I would imagine there would be more than one Renato Corona in the Philippines and or the world. Renato Corona, not even the middle name. Is that correct?
As long as it's real estate and title, Your Honor, then it will be in our database, Your Honor.
Okay. Would your database cover properties only in the Philippines or all over the world?
Just in the Philippines, Your Honor.
Just in the Philippines, because you represent the Land Registration Authority of the Philippines. That's logical, yes. And so, based on your knowledge, your staff in the LRA pressed the name Renato Corona without the middle name.
Yes, Your Honor.
If there are other Renato Coronas in the Philippines, their ownership of assets, real properties would also be here, as Senator Cayetano mentioned, if she has a namesake in the country. That would have been possible.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Therefore, knowing that fully well, did you review this list given to you by your staff before you affixed your signature on this two-page document with the enclosures?
I went over them, Your Honor.
You went over them, yes. That's good. You did not merely sign it based on the staff work given to you by your staff.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And so when you affix your signature, you looked at each and every title in each and every city. You were knowledgeable about these properties because it was a product of a search engine done by your staff.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you therefore asked your staff whether these properties still belonged to Renato Corona,
No,
or
Your Honor.
whether they were already sold or the titles were transferred?
No, Your Honor.
You did not. To what extent, therefore, did you exercise due diligence and complete staff work?
A number of documents that were forwarded to my office, Your Honor.
Yes. Can you kindly explain to this representation the meaning of by the number of documents?
These documents, Your Honor, first of all, I do not have the luxury, Your Honor, of going detail by detail on these documents. So, what I did, Your Honor, was to request them to submit to me the titled properties in their registries via computer name search, and to submit to my office, Your Honor, what documents was generated by the computer search. And thereafter, Your Honor, then when they brought it over to my office, we counted them, Your Honor, and we made the transmittal letter to the addressee, Your Honor.
And all of these documents and these names have some relation to Renato Corona at one time or the other,
Or to a namesake, Your Honor.
or to a namesake.
Yes,
Which of
sir.
these are namesakes?
Number 32, Your Honor, Constantino Castillo. Number 31, Your Honor, among others. And number 30, Your Honor. These are the product of a name search, Your Honor.
Kindly repeat the number and the name of the person.
Number
you kindly
27,
read
I
this?
think, Your Honor. Number 27. Number 30, Your Honor.
Could you kindly say the number and the name of the property, PCT number?
Number 27, Your Honor. TCT number 004.
Okay, never mind that. Let's not belabor the point. I understand. That is the property in the name of Erlinda S. Castillo.
Yes, Your Honor.
It has no connection to Renato Corona?
None, Your Honor.
Okay. What's the next number, please?
Number...
I beg your indulgence, Mr. President. Was
Number-
this tackled earlier in the hearing? It was not.
Number 30, Your Honor.
Number 30.
Yes, sir.
Angelina Castillo. How did his name come about then?
Because it's registered under Angelina T. Castillo and Constantino A. Castillo, Your Honor.
Yes. How did this come about that it was owned by Renato Corona, whether he's a Chief Justice or not?
Constantino Castillo, I think, Your Honor, is...
The son-in-law.
Yes, Your Honor.
And because there is a connection, it still comes out.
Because in some of the titles, Your Honor, married to was shown.
He's
Your
a son-in-law.
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
And so was the name of Constantino Castillo punched in or just Renato Corona?
Both, Your Honor. Maria
So you
Carla,
also searched for the properties owned by the relatives?
No, Your Honor. Maria Carla Corona Castillo married to Constantino Castillo.
Yes. Did you punch in those names or only Renato Corona?
We punch in those names, Your Honor.
I see.
Et
Who
al,
else did you
Your
punch in? How about Tito Soto? Did you punch in?
No, Your Honor.
Yes. No, we just want to know who is being tried here. You punch. Can we just have transparency and complete staff work? I want to be able to understand. I asked you in the beginning, did you punch in the name Renato Corona? You said you did. Were there other names you punched in? Kindly tell us who were the other names you punched in. The household help, the driver, the son-in-law, the daughter. Who else?
We punch in Cristina Rocco Corona, Your Honor.
Okay.
We punch in Francis Vincent Corona, Your Honor.
Who is the name? The second name?
Francis Vincent Corona, Your Honor.
Okay.
Charina Corona, Your Honor. Maria Carla Corona Castillo, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Constantino Castillo III, Your Honor.
That is why Constantino Castillo, who is not related to them, came about.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who is this Constantino A. Castillo?
The third, Your Honor.
No relation.
No, I wouldn't know, Your Honor.
Number 30 has no relation.
It's a name search, Your Honor.
So clearly, there was no complete staff work done. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there due diligence and complete staff work done insofar as this document is concerned?
Yes.
Your Honor, I did not prepare these certified copies, Your Honor. These are all machine-generated. And I do not even want to attempt to do some of the work of the prosecution by reviewing this, Your Honor, individually, Your Honor. So,
It was a simple printout.
yes, Your Honor.
Yes. I'm actually trying to help you to explain. All you need to do, Mr. Diaz III, is to explain to us so that we understand. All you wanted to explain was that it was a product of a machine, search engine, Google, and all of these names came out when you punched in the name of Corona, Renato, and the children and the wife. That's correct,
Yes,
right?
Your Honor.
Explain yourself so that we will understand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tama ba ho ako?
Tama po.
Okay, tama. Kung ito po ay produkto ng inyong pagsasaliksik sa pamamagitan ng computer, sana po ay kinalakip nyo sa isang memo. Ito po ang hinihingi nyo, Ginoong Tupas, Mr. Congressman, na resulta po ng aming pagsasaliksik sa aming computer. Pero ang pakalagay po nyo ay pursuant to your official request for information relative to real estate properties registered in the name of Renato Corona et al., enclosed or certified true copies of titles registered in their names as follows. And as Pia has mentioned, TG also brought it up, to a regular person, even to a senator, of more than average intelligence, Pia was humble enough to say of average, of more than average intelligence, I would understand this to mean that these are owned by the respondent. How can you explain, Mr. Diaz, please?
I am sorry, Your Honor, if that would come out as an interpretation, but that was not the intention, Your Honor.
Okay. At least it's clarified. And thank you for your candor and your
Your Honor,
honesty
your words.
in claiming that you actually Googled the name of the whole family and some of this. Could we therefore have an accurate, complete listing from the LRA on properties owned by Chief Justice Renato Corona, please? So that this exhibit will not mislead us in the final judgment.
Your Honor, I think that was earlier agreed to by the parties that they will
Fine.
come
Thank you
up
very
with a
much for
list.
that. And therefore, if due diligence and complete staff work was not instituted insofar as the LRA is concerned, we expect at least that perhaps the recipients of these documents should have exercised complete staff work before it was presented as evidence, as basis for media material or press release. That is how I would have done it. And I think that's what my colleagues expect at the very least, Mr. President. So with that, I yield to the presiding officer and request for a more accurate information and hope that the prosecutors, my dear friends, could have provided the impeachment court with and could have verified actually the accuracy, authenticity of the information presented by the LRA. Because if the LRA administrator